Hey, good day, folks. Welcome to another episode of Andrew's Life. On this video, we're going to be traveling through Avon, Indiana, which is a suburb of Indianapolis, which is west of Indianapolis. It is located 13 miles west of Indianapolis. I would say Avon is one of the fastest growing suburbs in the greater Indianapolis area. The current population is sitting at 21,474 people. And back during the 2010 census, the population was sitting at 12,446 people so let me back up here. Now, as of the 2020 census, the population has grown by 72.5%. And back during the 2010 census, back when the population was 12,446 people, at that time, the population then grew by 99.2%. So from 2000 to 2010, the population grew by 99.2%. Now, back in 2000, the first year that they started to keep a census of the growth in Avon, the population was 6,248 people. Now, Avon was first settled in the 1830s. The city was named after River Avon, which is a river that's located in the southwest part of England. Now, if you want to live in Avon, for starters, Avon, and I will say this to my surprise, Avon does have a little bit of crime. I mean, it's not bad, but the crime numbers here are a little higher than what I would expect in a suburb of Indiana, or a suburb in Indiana. So your violent crime is going to be 8% above national average. Your property crime is going to be a whopping 59% above national average. So again, I don't think the crime here is bad, but you do have crime numbers a tad higher than what you normally would see in many of your suburbs here in Indiana. Now, your racial demographics are 78.1% white, 5.6% black, 2.7% Asian, and 8.6% Hispanic. Your median rent prices are going to go from $950 to $2,050 a month. Your median home price is sitting at $314,000. And I would say right now, if you want any chance in this housing market here in Avon, you better come to the table with a minimum of $275,000. Now, there are a couple of houses that are for sale currently for less than that amount, but maybe one or two, that's about it. And even at $275,000, the competition is going to still be rather stiff. So, just so you know. I mean, and as far as how I feel about Avon, I mean, obviously, it's way too expensive for my blood. I don't have that kind of money, and even if I did, I understand that the median home price here is far below the national average, but I'm a cheapie, and I just couldn't fathom putting that kind of money on a house, and then I only get not even 2/10 of an acre. Now, my house here in Indiana. Unfortunately, it doesn't have 2/10 of an acre. It's got a little less. But then again, I'm not paying $300 and some thousand for that house either. So, you know. But that's how I feel. That's how I feel as far as housing prices. Now, as far as Avon as a city, I mean, as some of you guys are going to be able to see, if you haven't seen it already, Avon does have a considerable amount of traffic. And bear in mind, I recorded this video over the weekend. Over the weekend is when I record the majority of my videos these days, because during the week I work, and then I try to do one video a day. So over the weekend is when I go out and I record my content for the most part. So with that being said, if you choose to move to Avon, just know that you will be having to deal with a substantial amount of traffic during the week as people, drive through these streets to go to work and come home from work. And obviously most people that live here in Avon, they drive into Indianapolis for work. So as far as the local economy here, most of the economy here is going to be retail and hospitality. And you do got some white collar jobs, such as working for some of your banks, but the majority of your better paying jobs are going to be in Indianapolis. So if you live here in Avon, like I said, if you're the kind of person that doesn't like to deal with traffic and your job is in Indianapolis, or you have to travel to get to work, you may not want to live here in Avon. Now, in some of these newer communities in Avon, whatever it is, whatever price you're going to pay for your home, you might want to go ahead and factor in some type of an association with it, because many of your newer communities here in Avon will have an association 9 times out of 10. So obviously, if you're moving to Avon, and I say this because a lot of the houses that are currently for sale are not going to be these older houses that I'm driving around right now. The ones that were actually built right, the communities that have no association, but the ones that are for sale, most likely they're going to be in communities with an association, and they're going to be the houses that are being built like shit, to be quite blunt. So just a little bit of caution: if you move here to Avon and you buy a newer house, hire a home inspector that you know and trust, and that has a substantial amount of experience being a home inspector. And you guys, for those of you guys that have been watching my channel for any amount of time, you know how much I hate associations. So with that being said, if I were you, make sure that the house you're getting ready to purchase does not have an association, because if it does, then, and you still buy it, then you're an idiot. In a city like Avon, to be quite frank, with the housing prices being the way they are, you don't need no association to make your community better. That's a bunch of bullshit. Avon is one of those communities where it's safe as it is. So no need to pay extra money to have a bunch of people tell you what you can and can't do on your own property, and then they're gonna fine you for any dumbass bullshit reason, like your grass is too long, your car is parked the wrong way on the driveway, or your flowers are too bright. I think you guys get the idea. So yeah, don't buy this. Do yourself a favor and don't buy these junk ass houses in communities where they're going to charge you an association. All right, folks. So other than that, I would say now, like I said, even if Avon was more affordable, I don't know if I would live here still because of the traffic. But for those of you that don't mind the traffic and you got the money to live in Avon, Avon could be a good place to live. I mean, I don't really have anything super bad to say about this city. It's right by Indianapolis. It's when you get further from the main road here, it appears to be a quiet. It appears to be a quiet city when it needs to be quiet. Now we're gonna go over to Niche, and we're gonna see what other people have to say about Avon. All right, out of 139 reviews, which clearly I'm not going to read all those reviews, Avon does have a 4 out of 5 star rating. Now, nobody gave this city a 1 star. One person gave this city a 2 star, and we're going to adjust that 2 star rating right now. I'm not going to read it word for word because there's no need for me to read it word for word. I mean, for one, that post was back in February of 2015, so it's already 9 years old. And basically what they say is that if you want a better paying job, the majority of your opportunities are going to be in Indianapolis, which that's common sense because that's how a lot of your suburbs are. I mean, unless you're living in a suburb like maybe Carmel, Noblesville, or even Westfield, many of your suburbs here in Indiana, that's how they're going to be. I mean, the majority of the better paying jobs are going to be in the city. And like I said, that post was from 2015, and back then Avon was a lot smaller. So anyhow, let's read the other ones. We're going to start with the 5 star as typical. Okay, here's a 5 star from 3 months ago. Very friendly and family oriented. I enjoy my husband and my 4 kids growing up in this community. They have plenty of family events going on daily. Okay, here's another 5 star, 6 months ago. I would say the community is great and very welcoming. I would like to see change. Is how much technology and factories are taking over the beautiful cornfields that used to be there. Okay, I would like to see change. Okay, whatever. I'm not even going to try to tear that apart. You guys heard what you heard. I read it word for word. We're going to do one more, which is another 5 star from 9 months ago. There is a hospital nearby, as well as a police station and grocery and pharmacy stores. It is really easy to commute to these places. Oh, and another thing I want to say, Plainfield, Indiana is not real far from Avon, just so you guys know. And in Plainfield, you'll find a whole bunch of warehouses. I mean, Plainfield has a whole bunch of warehouses. So that's another place where, you can go for work. Okay, we're jumping over to the 4 stars. This first one is from 2 months ago. It's a good place to be, when you want to be able to have easy access to a whole bunch of other places, including a tiny little drive to an award-winning airport. I like to see some more open-mindedness, but the school system has been really good for me. Here's another 4-star from February of 2023. There are lots of great things to do, but traffic is real bad sometimes. Very family friendly, top rated schools, lots of shops and restaurants. Maybe we'll do one more. Another 4-star from October of 2022. I've grown up in Avon and had an overall positive experience. I like the schools and teachers. If there was something that could be improved upon, it would be sports options in the schools. There needs to be more variety. Okay, now we're jumping over to 3 stars. This first one was from 11 months ago. A decent place to start a family and good schools. However, the traffic is starting to get really bad and crime is starting to increase. Other than that, it's beginning to become more diverse and is expanding in terms of retail and restaurants daily. Here's another 3-star from 12 months ago. Avon is a good family community with a large public school system. The school system continues to grow and provide new opportunities to students. Okay, let's read one more. 3 stars from April 2022. A lot of empty space that could be put to use. New houses built in communities do not seem like they are strong. And guess what? That's because they're not. They're garbage. How do I know? Because not only have I owned a brand new house, now it wasn't here in Indiana, it was in Lewisburg, Tennessee. I've talked about that a few times on this channel. And also if you go online, whether it be YouTube, whether it be Google, you're gonna almost always find an article or a story of a person that purchased these newer houses. And then they report, the foundation is starting to crumble. The roof is not, shingles off the roof are starting to fall off. Things that shouldn't be going on in a new home is going on. Stuff that doesn't even go on in houses that were put up over 120 something years ago. Sometimes will go on in some of your new houses. So like I said, and honestly, if I were to live in Avon, personally, I'd rather buy an older house as opposed to buying these new houses that they're just throwing up. But that's me. I'd rather buy an older house, and if necessary, put a little bit of money into, bringing it up to par a little bit, make a couple of minor updates here and there, and I figure at the end of the day, I got a solid house that was built right, good workmanship, all that stuff, as opposed to blowing a ton of money on these newer homes that are built like garbage. Alright folks, that's going to do it for the commentary. This is a long video, as you guys saw when you clicked on it, so hopefully you stick around and you watch the rest of the video, or you can stop it and then watch the rest of it later, however you choose to do. But I try to, when I record these videos, I don't get every nook and cranny of any of these cities, but I try to get enough footage to where if you choose to come to these cities and visit for whatever reason, you at least have a fair idea of what you can of what you can expect when you come to visit these places. And definitely, if you're looking for a place to live, and maybe you're sitting somewhere on the other side of the country, I try to give you guys enough footage to where you have at least you have an accurate description. Not description, but you have a healthy idea of what the city is going to look like if you choose to move there. And as you know, as always, if wherever it is you're trying to live, don't just rely on things that are online. Definitely don't rely on your realtor, to be honest. Your best bet is to, get on the plane, get on the bus, get in your vehicle, drive to these areas yourself, and check out the area for yourself, and then make your own judgment on whether or not you want to live in that area or not. Alright folks, that's going to do it for the commentary, so enjoy the rest of the video. If you want to help me out, it's free, doesn't cost you nothing, and pretty soon I will be putting up some type of a fundraising thing for myself to where you guys can donate to that if you want to help me with gas and wear and tear on the car as I drive around and record these videos. But for the time being, if you want to help me out, you can do it. It doesn't cost you a dime. All you gotta do is give videos like this a thumbs up. And while you're at it, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, consider doing that. If you already subscribed to the channel, make sure you're still subscribed, because sometimes YouTube will go through and they'll unsubscribe people for whatever reason that they got. I don't know, I don't understand, but yeah. So alright folks, stay blessed, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.